Yeah, I literally moved across the country all by myself. I didn't know anybody down here, so I packed up everything that I could that could fit in my Honda Civic, and I put Lux in the front seat, and me and my dude moved down to North Carolina. I needed to take a little break because I could get emotional. Without my buddy, I wouldn't be here. Hi, I'm Jen, and this is my wife, Rachel. Together we live in North Carolina with our kids, Bennett and Ryden, and our dogs, Coco and Lucky. Join us as we share our life and our adventures. Please subscribe and enjoy the video. Neato.
What is today's video?
All about me.
This one?
I don't know, do people want to know who I am?
I think they do.
They seem to really like you, and they thought that you were as much of a cutie as I think you are. We'll see if they think I'm as cute after this video.
Okay. Well, first
Did you think I was cute before?
Your first question is your childhood.
You're just going to copy mine.
I'm not, but that's a good one to start, though.
Okay.
Okay.
My childhood. I was like you, and I was a tomboy, and I played a lot of sports. But I guess I'll do what I made you do, and I'll go back to like birth. So every year on my birthday, my mom calls me, and she tells me the story of the day that I was born. I was born on a Saturday, and it was a beautiful, sunny, cloudless blue sky day. I was born in June. And they were actually in Webster, Wisconsin at our family cabin when my mom started having contractions. Went to the hospital, and she had waited a while before going to the hospital. And I guess when she got there, like, she was ready to have me, but the doctor wasn't ready. The nurse was telling my mom to not push. And the nurse was actually holding, like, keeping me in my mom because they were waiting for the doctor to come. No joke. Yes.
Wow.
So when I was born, my head and face were like really blue and purple, and I had a cone head, and my APGAR score was terrible, like really low, and my parents were concerned that I might have lasting damage from the oxygen deprivation.
Wow.
So maybe that's my problem.
Maybe.
I have two parents. I have two sisters. I'm the middle. There's three girls, and I'm the middle.
What was it like growing up as a middle child?
That's a layered question. It was good. I was very different from my sisters. They're very girly. Naomi was always very driven and did well in school. She was really pretty, still is really pretty, but she was pretty and popular, and yeah, she just seemed to kind of have it all together. And then Chelsea was very creative and artsy, and she did dance and liked art, and she was a good writer, that kind of thing. And then there was me, the only like truly athletic one of the three of us. But I was very athletic, and I was very, very tomboyish, and like wore boys' clothes when we went school shopping. We would go shopping in the boys section for me. I mean, I guess the clothing, like not a whole lot.
Not much has changed. Men's Jordans.
Yeah, so men's top,
shirt.
probably a men's hat.
Probably.
That's a grand.
And your parents,
Overview.
are they still married?
They're divorced. So my parents divorced when I was 9, and they've been divorced ever since. My mom only recently remarried, the same year that Rachel and I got married. Mm-hmm. And my dad's single. He's never remarried. Childhood in a nutshell. Okay. So I realized that I forgot like a really important piece of information, and that is that I was born and raised in Minnesota. I think I had said the Webster, Wisconsin thing was where my mom started having contractions with me, but I was born and I grew up in Minnesota. I didn't move to North Carolina till I was 26. So that's something probably important to know.
Right. What were you like as a kid? Like personality?
I was a little troublemaker.
Even as a kid?
Yeah.
Or was that teenage years?
Even as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of a class clown. Always kind of like the funny. Like I got class clown in junior high, and I got class clown in high school. So I've always kind of been I like to make people laugh and goofy and witty and funny.
I'm gonna pipe in for just a second. I think that would be surprising for a lot of people if you don't really, really know you.
Mm-hmm.
Because she comes off as very quiet and reserved
And serious.
and serious. But once you get to know her, class clown.
I remember on my report cards, teachers can write stuff in on your report cards. More than one teacher wrote on my report card more than once, Jen could be a leader if she wanted to be. And so it was always like this hidden potential within me that other people seemed to see, but that I probably knew I had deep down, but didn't really harness properly as a kid. I think I harness it good now. But
Absolutely. I believe you do too as well.
yeah, and then sports, I guess we'll go into
Yeah.
detail. Sports was basketball was my main sport that I played. I played traveling ball and school ball. I started playing basketball on a team in second grade. Somehow my dad fandangled his way to coach a third grade team, and then somehow got special permission for me to be able to play on this third grade team as a second grader. Yeah, I played basketball through 11th grade. I actually didn't play my senior year. That was my main sport, but I played every sport that you can think of at some point. I liked softball a lot too. I played volleyball. I played varsity golf. Even I played golf in junior high. I did soccer as a little kid.
Do you have a specific memory of your travel team, like your favorite memory? Maybe from a tournament or...
Oh, yeah, there's this one team, Matamidi is the city, and those girls, they were always so good. And we only ever beat them one time, and it was because of me. So I could shoot really well, and when I was on fire, like, watch out, and just like for whatever reason that game, I was on fire from the three-point line, and I made like 5 or 6 three-pointers that game, and we beat them, and I remember like that, like it was because of me. If I hadn't been hot that game, we wouldn't have won. So that was a good one. But then on the converse side of that, there was this one time, there's like a few seconds left in the game, and the other team was ahead by 2. And so the play was to set me up so that I could get open for a three-pointer, hopefully sink the 3, and, win the game at the last second. And I did get open, and I mean, I got a shot off, but it hit the rim. It didn't go in. And I remember just being like, damn, feeling like you lost the game for the team.
And we'll catch up
I'm
with
still
you
athletic.
in a few. You are still athletic. Just kicks my ass
And
and everything.
it's just like basketball. I'm either hot or I'm not.
All right, rapid fire.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Favorite dog?
Lux. Alive right now, though? Coco.
Okay. Nickname your parents called you?
My mom called me Little Lamb. Her lamb.
Would you rather be invisible or have a super strength?
Super strength? Question mark.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
No, but I do really like Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Like a lot. So I guess I do. Sandra Bullock.
Say a word in Spanish.
Hola. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Favorite number?
7.
Why?
Probably from my mom. She's got a thing with 7. She was like, oh my God, you're 34. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Oh, it's 112. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 2 is 4. And if you add a 3 to that, it's 7. I'm not even kidding.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
I love my mom.
Cake or pie?
A pumpkin pie. I'm not a big sweets person.
Do you like the smell of gasoline?
No,
Some people do.
not this one.
Say good day, mate, in an Australian accent.
Good day, mate.
All right, let's throw. Wanna
Throw this boomerang. Damn, that's not Australian at all.
All right, we talked about your childhood. Mm-hmm. How about your teenage years? Were you a good teenager?
Well, if I was trouble as a child, I was trouble as a teen. But if you were to ask my parents which of us 3, and I've asked both my parents this, which of the 3 of us girls was the easiest, they'll both tell you me. And it was just because I was quiet. I wasn't sassy or moody, and I didn't get involved in all that girl drama stuff. That just wasn't me. I was quiet, kept to myself, didn't hassle them much. But like trouble-wise, I have dabbled in my fair share of illicit activities. Lots of marijuana smoking in junior high and high school, lots of drinking in high school, and experimentation with a variety of other drugs.
What do you think made you not go down that dark path or continued?
Man, I don't know if I have a really good answer for that, other than like I just knew that like the guys that I would hang around with, like, and we smoked weed every single day. Like I just knew that our paths, like my path was gonna be much different than theirs. And I can't tell you why or what. I don't know if I knew it at the time, but like I always knew I was gonna do something good with my life. I don't know, that's a funny thing too with addiction, like people saying that like weed and alcohol are like physically addictive, and like yes they are, but I think it's more like a mental thing and just your circumstances. Like I guess I question like why did you smoke weed every single day and drink so much? And because I wasn't happy for a variety of reasons, which I don't know how deep we're going to get into that in this, but like, you know, just childhood stuff. Like I'm sure there was stuff about my parents' divorce and their relationship and gender identity issues, you know, self-esteem. All of that played a role in it. I kind of lost track of my thoughts.
College. Did you know you wanted to go to college?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a choice. So growing up, I just always remember my parents saying, you're going to go to college and we're not going to pay for it. Although my dad just visited and he said that when we were very young that the plan was for them to pay for it, but I don't remember that plan. I was always under the impression that I had to go to college and that I would pay for it. After high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, so I went to a community college. I was dating a guy at the time. We dated from the age of like 17, broke up a couple of times in between, but from 17 to 25, I was with the same guy. He was going to go to this community college too, and I was like, you know what, I'll do that because if I'm paying for it, I might as well live at home, work, go to school, save some money. I can pay cash for it. And I went there for like 2.5 years, got my associate's degree, still had no clue what I wanted to do with my life, and I just kept taking random classes, hoping that something would catch my attention and like pull me in or draw me in. I liked working out, so I was like, well, maybe I could get into being a personal trainer. So I looked into that, and I saw that the average personal trainer made like 30 or 40 grand a year. And one thing my dad always told us growing up was to always, no matter what you did, just make sure that you were able to support yourself and that you never had to depend on anybody else for your income and to survive. I saw that and I was like, that is not enough money for me to want to live a good life on. So I nixed that. I thought about being a dietitian or a nutritionist, but then I found out that most of them just work in hospitals and you're just like administering liquid goop shit to people that are sick, and like that was not appealing either. During that time, I had we went on a snowboarding trip to Colorado. Me, my boyfriend at the time, my sister and her boyfriend, my younger sister and her boyfriend. I won't, like, super long story short, I ended up having a really bad snowboarding accident and I herniated discs in my lower lumbar. Through all that, I ended up going to a chiropractor, and that's what ended up helping me after months of daily pain and issues. Chiropractic was what finally got me to get over that. So I was also taking that Career Finders class at the time. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'll shadow my chiropractor. And so I hung out with him for the day, and man, that guy had so much fun. Like, he was so happy, and he seemed so interested in what he did, really seemed to dig it. Yeah, and he just loved what he did. And I remember at some point during the few hours that I was shadowing him, all of a sudden I was just like, man, I want what this guy has. He really likes what he does, and I just want to enjoy what I do and make a decent living. That was it. I was like, okay, I'm going to be a chiropractor. So I went and met with a guidance counselor, sat down, and I was like, hey, what classes do I need? And like backtrack. I had at one point thought about becoming a dental assistant or a dental hygienist because I figured like at least I could do something that I made decent money at while I figured out what I really wanted to do. And the classes that I needed to finish up to get that degree were like biology, chemistry, physics, anatomy, And I was like, man, I really don't like science classes, so I don't want to do that. Well, I went and met with my guidance counselor, and I was like, hey, what classes do I need for chiropractic school? And no joke, not kidding you, it was an entire year of only biology, chemistry, physics. I had to take organic chemistry in the summer. Like, it sucked. But I was just like, okay, that's what I got to do. I'll do it. It's funny the sacrifices and the shit that you're willing to dig through when you actually want something versus when you don't.
And then so went to chiropractic school?
Went to chiropractic school, and look at me now, Ma.
Yep.
Real quick, I wanted to touch on for college was, like I talked about how I partied and stuff in high school. Well, once college rolled around, like that was pretty much non-existent. And I think that that's one of the things that really helped me was going to community college. Because had I gone to the dorms, like the partying, the drinking and stuff would have continued. And that's where I think it would have caught up to me to a point where I couldn't have gotten past it. But I went to a community college, and like I didn't have that temptation. Really, after high school is when that stuff dwindled down. And then in chiropractic school, I can literally count on one hand how many times I drank in chiropractic school. Just to wrap that part of the story up.
Okay. More rapid fire.
Okay.
What's your favorite carnival food?
Here. Cheese curds or corn dog? Mini donuts are good too.
Name a word that starts with a Q.
Queen.
Would you eat a day-old taquito from 7-Eleven?
No. I wouldn't eat a fresh taquito from 7-Eleven.
How long can you hold your breath for?
I bet at least a minute and a half. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I'd test it, but we're like moving and stuff.
Right.
You guys are just gonna have to take my word on it.
We do.
Probably like 4 minutes. A minute and a half or 2 minutes.
What's the capital of New York?
Rochester?
I don't even know.
We're gonna fact check that, and if that's
Yeah.
right, we're putting like a ding.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark, 90% Lindt, 90% dark. Best chocolate.
If there was hair in your soup at a restaurant, would you return it?
Yeah, and I wouldn't want another bowl. I'd be done with the soup.
Sour Patch Kids or Swedish Fish?
You don't know which one I was gonna say because I just went and they both start with an S. Swedish Fish, because I feel like you don't get those as much.
So you went to school in Minnesota, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're currently where?
North Carolina.
What brought you here?
Well, originally that was me and that ex-boyfriend's plan was to move to North Carolina. And when we broke up, it was at the tail end of chiropractic school. And I was like, it was scary. Because now it was like, I knew I didn't want to stay in Minnesota. That wasn't going to happen. I hated the weather there too much. So I was like, wow. So now I have to do this alone. My little sister and I road tripped down here, and we road tripped through the state. And we went to Raleigh, Wilmington, Charlotte, and Asheville. And when we came through Charlotte, it just felt right. It just felt the best. Like it felt like the place that I should be. And so that's how I chose Charlotte. And I moved here. When I first moved here, I lived in Davidson, which is by the lake. I thought I would open up a practice in that area, but once I moved here, that area just didn't feel right. And I started driving around looking for other spots, and I came into the area where my current practice is at, and it just felt like the right spot for my practice. So that's how that happened. So moving here, yeah, I literally moved across the country all by myself. I didn't know anybody down here. I had met the chiropractor that I was doing my last internship with once. And like literally that was it. I knew nobody. So I packed up everything that I could that could fit in my Honda Civic, and I put Lux in the front seat, and me and my dude moved down to North Carolina. And I needed to take a little break because I could get emotional. So anyways, I could have gotten emotional because Lux, and it's almost a year ago to today.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that he passed away. If it wasn't for that dog,
interviewers.
Interviewer gonna cry too?
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was my dude.
Yep.
Without my buddy, I wouldn't be here.
And then
I would be alive. I wouldn't be in
Right.
North Carolina. Yeah, that dog was everything that I needed. And he was there for it all, man. Like, all the frustration, all the wins, the ups, the downs, broker than anything, and like just hoping and praying that everything would work out. The shitty, disgusting apartment to the house we live in now, from like just literally nothing to everything. He was there for it all. And he was an integral part of it. Couldn't have done it without that dog,
yeah.
because he was my only buddy for the longest time, my only companion.
Was gonna ask you something, but I'm not sure if it's a good flow or not.
I don't think anything flows
Right.
flows into that.
How did you get into CrossFit?
I knew I wanted to do CrossFit before I even moved down here. And I actually knew that CrossFit was going to be an integral part of my business plan. So my target market when I opened up my practice was women aged 35 to 45 who were married, had a college education, had children, and who did CrossFit. I literally had that written out. That was my target. That was my target market. That was who I wanted to work with. Smart, fit, well-off people. And like, that's CrossFit. So yeah, I had looked at gyms in the area, and I knew it was going to be, if I was going to open in the Lake Norman area, it was CrossFit.
So
They're not even open anymore. And then CrossFit Vitality, and it ended up being Vitality. That was a really, really good for me personally, and really good for my business. That's how I made friends, other than my dog. He was a good friend.
And
Oh, and that's I met. That's
met
also
me.
where I met her.
her wife.
Yeah,
All right, back to marrying me.
I married you.
How long did we date?
Not that long.
How long? Not that
A matter of months.
long. Okay. How long have we been married?
6 years.
Hey, did you see her? But we're gonna end with some rapid fire questions.
All right.
What's the worst job you've had?
Telemarketer. Oh, telemarketer, man. That was never be a telemarketer. Don't allow your children to be a telemarketer. Just don't do it.
What's the thing you're most afraid of?
Failure.
Do you have someone that you look up to?
My grandma.
Why?
So my mom is the oldest of 6 kids, and when my mom was 12, her dad left for a business trip and never came home.
Ever.
So left my grandma to raise 6 children all on her own.
How tall are you?
5'10".
What's the first thing you notice about someone when you meet them?
If we're shaking hands, their handshake. And if somebody has a good handshake, I will comment on their good handshake. And if a kid has a good handshake, I will make them feel very awesome about having a good handshake. It's very important. I have strong opinions about handshakes.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't think there's anything else. I think we've covered all the bases. And like I said, if you feel like there's something missed out or something more that you want to know, you can put it in the comments. And if I feel like answering it, I'll answer it.
I've enjoyed interviewing you.
I'll help you.
Okay. She's not very good at it, but she's amazing.
I'm not very good
Not
at
very-
amazing.
You're not very good at talking about how, I don't know, hang on one second. I want the people to know how amazing you are. And that you are such an awesome wife. And I love you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. I love you too. And I think you're amazing and awesome as well.
All right.
Well, there you go. You told them and they know.
Okay. I couldn't get it out right.
And hopefully, if you ever meet me in person, Rachel's interpretation of me will hold true for you too. Okay, we're going to wrap this video up here. Thank you for watching. I hope you like me. And now you know a little bit more about both of us.
Yeah.
All right. Catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.